Michel Sittow's portrait of Diego de Guevara is a remarkable example of the artist's skill and versatility. Sittow was born in Estonia, but trained in Bruges, the leading artistic center of northern Europe in the late 15th and early 16th centuries. He became a court painter for the Spanish monarchs Ferdinand and Isabella, and later worked for their successors, Philip the Fair and Charles V. He also traveled to other courts, such as Burgundy, England, and Denmark, where he painted portraits of nobles and royalty. Some of his most famous works include The Ascension, a small devotional work that depicts the Virgin Mary ascending to heaven with Jesus Christ. It is now in the National Gallery in London. Diego de Guevara, a portrait of a nobleman from Santander in northern Spain, who served the Habsburg dynasty for 40 years. It is part of a devotional diptych, with another panel depicting the Madonna and Child. The two panels were originally hinged together to form a book-like structure. The portrait is now in the National Gallery in London as well. Portrait of a man, a portrait of an unidentified man wearing a fur-lined cloak and a black hat. It is now in the National Gallery in London as well. Sittow died in 1525 in his hometown of Revel, now Tallinn. He was buried in the St. Olaf's Church, where his tomb can still be seen today. The portrait is one of his most famous works. It shows a man in a rich golden doublet, with a fur-lined cloak and a black hat. He has a serious expression, and his eyes are fixed on something outside the frame. He rests his hand on a stone parapet, which is covered by an ornate carpet. The carpet is a key element of the painting, as it connects it to another panel, depicting the Madonna and Child, which is now in Berlin. The two panels were originally part of a devotional diptych, a pair of paintings that could be opened and closed like a book. The man in the portrait was probably praying to the Virgin and Child, who were his spiritual protectors. The identity of the sitter is not certain, but there is strong evidence that he is Diego de Guevara, a nobleman from Santander in northern Spain. He served the Habsburg dynasty for 40 years, in various roles of trust and honor. He was a knight of the Spanish Order of Calatrava, as indicated by the red cross on his doublet. He was also the warden of the order, a prestigious position that he obtained in 1518, the same year that the portrait was probably completed. He was a patron of the arts, and owned several paintings by Sittow and other artists. The portrait of Diego de Guevara is a masterpiece of Northern Renaissance art, combining realism, elegance, and symbolism. It reveals the close relationship between the artist and the sitter, as well as the cultural and religious values of the time. It is also a testimony of the mobility and exchange of artists and artworks across Europe in the early 16th century.